Alright folks, come along with me while I play Mount Woodson's front nine in my backyard using the MLM2PRO by Rapsodo. Now I typically don't hit driver off the first tee at Woodson, but I'm going to actually hit driver several times today. Usually I would tee off with like a 3 hybrid or a 7 wood and only use my driver in the par 5s, but I need to work on my driver. I've been struggling with it a bit, so I'm going to hit it a few times today and we're going to see how that goes. I also want to try to be more consistent with my setup. My knees are not great, my back isn't great. I'm injured a lot, but I just swing it the best that I can. I don't swing very hard. My swing speed is down in like the high 70s, low 80s. Now, even though I got that a little fat, it got about pin high. Now, I would usually putt on from this distance, but the Rapsodo does not do putting well, so I get an opportunity to work on my chipping with my 52 degree. So I take that opportunity to do that, see if I can get it close. And that rolled off to be about a 2-putt. And I'll take that. Alright, now got to get myself ready for hole number 2. And we're looking at 205 out there just to get it to a nice comfy shot. I'm aiming left edge of the fairway. I'm going to hit this. I think I have a 7 wood. I'm going to give that a go. Struck it pretty good. And the ball got out to about right where I wanted it. I wanted to leave myself a pitching wedge or a 9-iron in. So I'm trying to play that sort of strategy, just aiming for the center of the green. Now I hit that pitching wedge all right, and it managed to make it up to the green and come to a stop right around in about a 3-putt area. I'll take that as well. Then I moved on to hole number 3, hoping to put something together, start helping my score a bit. It's a par 3, and I tried to get off the tee the best I could. And I ended up hitting a duff that only went about 80 yards, sitting down in that rough. And at this point, I'm really starting to lose it. And I say, don't compound the mistake. And what do? I walk out, I line up. And I proceeded to compound the mistake. So I'm telling myself at this point, don't crash out here, okay? You're not taking any mulligans. Don't crash out. Just go up there and hit yourself a nice little chip shot. Get that up in the air. And I'm looking at the screen. I have no idea that that thing holed out until right now. Super stoked for that. I decide I'm going to hit driver again because, again, I need to work on it. So I get myself lined up to give that another go. Now, I didn't feel confident in this strike and I did not know how far the ball traveled until I got up to the screen, and at that point I was pretty happy with it. So now I'm staring down this par 5 244 out, but this is where I make a crucial mistake. See, I grab my 7 wood thinking I just need to carry it out and up there, and so I did that. Now, as you can see, I head well over the cart path into that rough, which is not where I want it to be. I hit the wrong club there. I should have laid up at the end of that fairway to leave myself a nice, comfortable, like pitching wedge or 9-iron in. So now I have to play out of this rough with a loss of spin and distance. And now I shank it into the sand because I'm thinking too hard. I'm beginning to compound mistakes again. So I have to figure out what I'm going to do here. Now I don't have a sand trap to play out of. So what I do is typically I put the ball up on a little tee. And then I take the club and I try not to ground the club behind the ball and just swing at it. Until I get a proper way to simulate sand that I can put down in front of the MLM2PRO, I don't really have a good way of simulating sand and rough, but I'm looking into it. But we're moving on to the next hole. Now this shot is not a Grady, but it is indeed a straighty. And I find the fairway, and I'm sitting in a really good position, and I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing here. So if I can put some holes together, maybe put a par or two together out here, I might actually have something going. Once again, sitting close to pin high, and I would typically putt from this range, but it seems to be sending some good rough. So I go out there and I set up again. Just try to chip it up and on, see if I can get it close. And it rolls off too far, ends up being another 3-putt. Now I'm setting up for the next hole, and this is where I make another mistake. I kind of get away with it here, but I should have aimed away from the water. I did not aim away from the danger, and you're going to see the result of that. I did not play my miss at all, so I thought this ball was going in the water, but it seemed to sit up just on that edge there. Now, at Mount Woodson in real life, that ball would be gone. So, in order to make up for this really ridiculous lie, I decided to hit a 1-foot sand wedge up onto the green. And I hoped that it would stay at a 2-putt, but it rolled out to a 3-putt. Alright, now I get myself set up for the next hole here. And decide I'm just gonna take my 7 wood, give it a little rip, see how far I can hit it. Got a good little bit of it. Rolled out nice and well for me. So I start getting set up for this approach shot, left myself just like I wanted, a nice comfortable pitching wedge, 9-iron-ish in. And I make the same mistake I made before. I don't aim away from the danger, and I give it another rip. And would you believe it? It hits that slope, and it sits up, just like it did on the previous hole. So, just like on the previous hole, I take a 1-foot sand wedge on up to the green. Hoping all these shots are just going to come out in the wash and I'll get some sort of a realistic score. So though I would putt from here, I'm just going to chip this on, get an opportunity to work on my chipping. Now, it's been in my experience, along with a lot of people who play with the Rapsodo MLM2PRO, that it doesn't pick up chips very well. So in this case, I had to chip this thing, I think 2 or 3 times before it finally picked up the chip that I was trying to do here. And by the time I got there, I was pretty frustrated, but it eventually caught it. And that time was a charm. And it was still a little too long, but it managed to stay into a 2-footer or a 2-putt range. Moving on to the next hole. I think I'm gonna try to go low on this one, take an opportunity, but then the unthinkable happens. My wife came out of the back door during my backswing and threw me off, and it scared the hell out of me. But I told her that, you know, these things happen on the course too, so I'm not taking any mulligans. I'm just gonna play on through and move on. So I'm gonna get it up out of this rough. Strike felt pretty good. Got the ball back out in the play.
Up and back in the play.
Setting up for this 142-yard shot in. I don't even know what club I even picked. I think I just went for it. Trying to get some loft on it. And I land in the rough. So now I get to work on my chipping again and pitching again. It's all short game to me. Just try to chip this on. And that thing rolled out great. So about a 1-putt. Now I'm down to the last hole of this 9-hole journey in the backyard. I try to finish strong on a par 3. An absolutely horrendous start.
What am I doing, man?
And you would think that ball would be gone, but it wasn't. So I just had to collect myself and said, don't blow it up on the last hole. I pulled out my gap wedge, I think, and said, I'm going to practice this thing. So tried to get that up to the green, up towards the green, and it
got a little bit of it.
Trickled off a little bit, and I was hoping it was going to stay on. And usually I would putt these, but I get to work on my chipping again. It was a little long, but it stayed good enough for a 2-putt. All in all, I felt okay about the whole thing. There was some good, some bad. I got some things I have to work on, but I'm just glad I have this area where I get to practice. Well, thanks for coming on this journey with me, and last but not least,
Thanks for hanging out.